Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today, and we are back with another video on Sonic Frontiers. And we have, yes, some more details on Sonic Frontiers from Game Informer. We have details on the story, combat, and even more. So, let's not waste any time. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. On to Game Informer with Sonic Rush. Right, so for these articles, I'm just going to skim through them all and just pick out the most important parts. So, we'll start with the combat one. Shortly after I set off running through the open zone, I encounter a small group of basic enemies. Using Sonic's trademark homing attack, I can get close and bounce between enemies. This feels in line with past Sonic games, but once you're in close, you can keep pressing that button to unload a melee combo on your target. These early enemies don't require much thought, but as I approach my first destination, an in-world boss labeled Formidable Enemy, I see that combat in Sonic Frontiers is not going to be about mindlessly bouncing from enemy to enemy. In previous Sonic games, combat was kind of like an accent that gave the high-speed action a sense of rhythm, Sonic Team Creative Officer Takashi Iizuka says. This time, we're adding a greater sense of tension and tactics to the combat. All the enemies have been designed based on tactics. After the ninja finishes a spinning move where it brandishes its blades in a deadly fashion, I take up my opening to attack. I home in on the boss and unload the combo I tried before, chipping away at the creature's decent sized health bar. Alright, so these enemies are going to have health bars that we can probably see, so that's good. I repeat this process a couple more times, keeping my distance and closing in to deal my damage before the ninja collapses and erupts in a bright purple blast. Bosses leave behind portal gears, which help you access the linear style cyberspace levels scattered throughout the open zones. Sometimes they also open new areas. This ninja in particular gave me access to a new large portion of the Kronos Island map. As you gather more skill points, you can further explore down the skill tree. Explore abilities like the Sonic Boom. So I can't stop. I do that every single time, but come on, it's a banger. Sonic Boom. You can't go wrong with it. Shoot projectile blades mid combo. Wild Crash. Run towards enemies with a zigzag pattern to avoid their attacks. And Excel Rush. Increase power when you max out your combo meter. In addition to hidden skills that unlock as you play through the campaign. Starting out with Sonic at full power will make the combat simple and repetitive. So we made it so the player gradually unlocks Sonic's abilities through the skill tree, Iizuka says. My encounter with the tower showed that the bosses in Sonic Frontiers are set to break the mold of the franchise's boss battles to this point. In recent Sonic games, the boss battles were more like mini-games that will grant access to the next world when cleared, so it's more of just an accent point to the main game experience, Kishimoto says. For Sonic Frontiers, we are breaking out of the mini-game boss battle mentality and creating boss battle experiences that will make for an amazing climax inside of the new open zone format. This may also be something new that has never been done before for this genre of game, but I think the Sonic movie may serve as a good hint for one of the battles. Okay, so I think Kishimoto said this a couple of weeks back, but the combat in this game is definitely going to be inspired by the Sonic movie. And I'm not going to read it out here, but the person who's playing this game right now thinks that the Ashura boss is going to be inspired by the Sonic movie one. So we should definitely be looking out for anything that seems related to the Sonic movie in this game, which is interesting. Another enemy I find is a heavily armored creature that seems completely impenetrable. But that initial assumption proves false, as a simple side loop circle around it opens it up for attack. Finally, I encountered a wheel-like enemy that doesn't appear to be much of a threat, until Sonic either gets too close to it or defeats it. If either one of those scenarios happens, it fixates on Sonic and follows him at high speeds until it self-destructs. Now that's some pretty cool enemy design. Stuff like this enemy right here, obviously not like the most difficult boss in the world, well not even the boss, it's the enemy. But yeah, just small enemies like this is actually pretty cool because it makes Sonic move, instead of just stopping still and everything like that. We have some enemy variety here, which is good. Before my time with Sonic Frontiers comes to a close, I spot one more thing I want to do before I hand over the controller. The enemy is large enough to spot from a distance, Iizuka says. In this game, there's no set order to go into progress. The player can head for whatever they find interesting, and taking that on will move the game forward. The flyer gave me a run for my money, but it was one of my favourite moments from my time with Sonic Frontiers. Each of the different enemy and boss types I encountered demonstrated Sonic Team's desire to deliver unique combat encounters that play to Sonic's newly enhanced abilities. If the encounters, particularly the ones with the bosses, continue to evolve and build on top of what I played during my 3+ hours with the game, this might be the part I'm most excited about as we begin to approach the release window for Sonic Frontiers. Alright, so overall, combat is sounding pretty good honestly. Enemy design is sounding great, it's more tactical, not just mindless button mashing, and yeah, it just sounds pretty awesome overall. Right, then now move on to the story article. During my hands-on time with Sonic Frontiers, I witnessed some of Flynn's handiwork in that regard. As you're running through the open zone of Sonic Frontiers, Sonic will make small comments to himself. Since Sonic Frontiers' story takes place at the latest point of the Sonic timeline as it exists currently, after the events of Sonic Forces and Team Sonic Racing, all previous titles are fair game. In one voice line, the Blue Blur wonders if Kronos Island would make a good location for a Chow Garden. We know there aren't any Chow Gardens in Sonic Frontiers, but small lines like that add to the overall connectivity of Frontiers to the rest of the Sonic the Hedgehog timeline. Those are things Ian put in for the fans, Iizuka says, including references to the games. Makes it clear that the Sonic Frontiers story isn't a standalone world, but part of the long history of Sonic. Those familiar faces, Eggman, Amy, Tails, and Big to name a few, were hand-selected by Sonic Team, and then handed over to Flynn to further flesh out the characters and their arcs. While not everyone's favourite characters appear in Sonic Frontiers, Flynn hints they might get deeper cuts mentioned. As you're running around, listen to what Sonic says to himself, he says. You might hear some name drops that'll surprise you. Alright, that's actually pretty interesting, not gonna lie. This was getting me thinking though, could Sonic just reference Infinite in somewhere when he sees Sage? Because, come on, if we think Sage looks like Infinite, surely Sonic would then, right? I mean, unless Sonic Team just want to forget Infinite altogether and just don't want to mention him ever again, but come on, it's still a possibility, right? Despite Sonic Team largely calling the shots, Flynn was still able to have some major say in the overarching narrative. It was during that time when Ian Flynn presented some ideas for bringing different characters into the story. Director Morio Kishimoto says, "We had the development team think about how we could get integrated into the new open zone format, which then prompted Ian Flynn to present even more new ideas to us. And through that cooperative back and forth, we settled on the characters that would appear in the game." Oh, so that is good then. Ian Flynn does have some say in the story, which is good because Ian Flynn's a great writer, man. If he has some input in the story, then the story is pretty much going to be good then, right? I mean, surely. One character that has a particularly mysterious presence during my playthrough for the first few hours is Eggman. Sonic's most iconic adversary appears in the first cutscene, gets absorbed into cyberspace, and I don't see him again until a while later in another cutscene where he's trying to escape from the digital prison. Out in the open zone, I stumbled upon some Eggman tech, which even confuses Sonic. I have no idea what role the mischievous mustachioed man plays in Sonic Frontiers, but Sonic Team promises it's a prominent one. How is Eggman... Does Eggman control Sage or something? Like, I don't know, because if it's a prominent role here, I don't know. No idea, honestly. It's gonna be interesting to see the story, man. I want to see what Eggman's like in this game, man, honestly. I just want to hear Mike Pollock again, man. Featuring Eggman in the story was something we decided on from the early stages of things, Kishimoto says. We wanted Eggman to be an extremely important key figure in the story for it to be successful. We didn't want him to just be the bad guy in a good guys versus bad guys scenario. We wanted to portray him as a flesh and blood human being in this story. Now that is good. Eggman being portrayed as an actual human who has some genuine goals, that makes sense. I mean, the last time we kind of had this was Sonic Adventure 2 really, where Eggman actually just showed that he is a human being because he turned good at the end, just talking to Tails and everything like that. So Eggman really is going to be quite interesting in this game, man. You know, I'm excited, man. I just want to see this, man. This is sounding really good, this. With Sonic Frontiers, Sega provided the plot beats, settings, and the characters. So my job was mainly to fill in the details, Flynn says. I was able to bring some ideas to the table, but this was more of a collaborative effort. As the game developed, new content and revised approaches were needed, so I was involved for much longer than a comic project. According to director Kishimoto, the storytelling of Sonic Frontiers takes a more serious tone, hoping to transcend that good guys versus bad guys scenario we refer to that is present in most games in the genre. We needed something dramatic to set that serious tone and foreshadow things to ponder while playing the game, he says. On the surface, our story is something that could be easily enjoyed, but we also wanted to challenge ourselves to create a drama that would also be enjoyable if thought about at a deeper level. This is a rare type of experience in the stage-clear action game genre, but it was also important for us to integrate it in, as we felt it was of critical importance to this open zone format. Right, overall for the story then, it is sounding pretty good, man. How are so many aspects of this game sounding good? Story sounding good, the game looks beautiful, music, the combat, like, is this actually going to be a good Sonic game? Like, oh my god, have we finally won? Right then, I know this is kind of late to me going to this, but we are going to go to two parts of the Iizuka rapid fire interview with the Game Informer. Once again, back to SSF 1991, Iizuka makes a maybe face when he's asked about Knuckles being in Sonic Frontiers. Alright, basically, Knuckles confirmed this. That's basically what he's saying right now. Because he was also asked about the Chow Garden and stuff like that, and he just said no immediately. But for Knuckles, he didn't say no, he said maybe. So, yeah, Knuckles confirmed for Frontiers, that's good. Game Informer. What happens if you got the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic Frontiers? And then Iizuka says, you can guess. So Super Sonic also confirmed for Frontiers. There we go. Anyways, that about does it for today's video. So we have some new details on the combat, story, and we have Knuckles and Super Sonic in Frontiers. Wow, okay, nice. But what do you guys think of all this news? Does it make you more excited for Frontiers? Let me know down below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. And remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!